Lindsey Erin is with me here today, and she is the director of John Casablancas Motto and Talent Agency in Chicago. And Lindsey, tell us a little bit something about John Casablanca. For example, anyone that is interested in getting into television commercials, whatever, I'm sure you will agree, it's not for everyone. But the bottom line is they can do it.
Right.
And that is where you guys would come in. So tell us a little bit something about the classes that you offer for someone that gets real shaky in front of the camera.
Yeah, so what we do is we consider ourselves an entry intermediate level company for both training and agency representation. John Casablancas is our training side, and then Model and Talent Management Agency is the actual agency for representation, and we manage our talent as well. So what we do is a lot of talent that come to us lack in self-confidence and lack in the skills and knowledge, so that's where we come in. We put them through either a 30-week boot camp or a 10-week boot camp depending on their age, and we train them on every basic in this industry. So we get them acclimated to what to wear, what to say, what to bring, what to prepare, and then where to look on camera, how to emote, how to get in touch with your emotions, non-dialogue acting versus dialogue acting, commercial modeling versus fashion modeling. So we teach pretty much the basics of everything that you need to know in order to get started and work in this industry.
Phew! Okay, now when somebody comes here and let's say they totally lack self-confidence, is it still possible that they could do this work?
Absolutely. That's the main goal of our program here, to help build self-confidence, because if you don't have the self-confidence, it's really difficult to put yourself in front of the client. So that is our 100% main goal here, building self-confidence.
And also most of your instructors, or possibly all, I take it they're somewhere in the business, obviously very familiar with the business. Now, do you also teach the student how the business works? Because as you and I know, it can be a very difficult business, and there are no guarantees ever in this business. That's the main thing. I mean, do you explain all this, or does someone come in thinking they're going to be the next big star?
We really do a reality check. We say we're not going to Disney tomorrow. That's not going to happen. But we do get them acclimated to working on more of a local level before we get them into the more national level. In regards to how the industry works, yes, we absolutely cover that. We talk about modeling business, acting business, social media is one of our new classes that we teach. And we talk about taxes, markets, unions, marketable material, how to network. So all the business stuff is absolutely.
Would you say, because I talk a lot about this, and I'm sure you'd agree, would you say networking is a very big part of this
absolutely.
business?
Networking is my job.
Yes, every day you meet someone, it can always go somewhere,
absolutely.
correct?
Absolutely.
Now let me ask you this, when they take classes, do they actually perform for you? Are they actually doing skits? Is this what it is?
It absolutely is. They're doing a myriad of things, whether they're performing a single monologue for the instructor or their classmates, or they're doing improv group exercises or non-dialogue exercises. We do partner scenes, so we've got a couple scripts so they can do cold reads as well. So we've got them working on a lot of areas, including teleprompter and green screen as well.
Wow,
yep.
Green screen, that's interesting. And you know what, I just found out last week, I was actually at a TV station and I never realized that you cannot wear green color on a green screen.
No, you can't.
Yeah, this is great for Halloween, guys, but that's about it, you know. So now when the student takes the classes, okay, you mentioned there are so many week courses. Do you decide how many weeks should be for them? Are they evaluated by what they are, how shy they are they graded by their advancement? I mean, say someone comes to you and said, I've already done a commercial, but I still feel like I need a class.
Right.
So what kind of class would be recommended to them?
So what we would do is first we determine how old they are, and that will determine if we do a 10-week or a 30-week program. The 10 weeks is more for our 5 through 10-year-olds, and then the 30-week program is more so for 11 and up, and our oldest student is 65 right now. The oldest student I've ever had was 85. So the age range is really, really up there.
So never too old to learn.
Never too late, never too late. But what we do is we kind of cater it to each person's experience in the group environment. So in the same class, you could have somebody who has worked in the industry before, took a break and is coming back, or you have somebody who is brand new to the industry. So we have core information that is good for all of our talent, but then we give individual feedback so that way we can have individual growth.
Now, John Casablanca has been around for
forever.
Yeah, forever. I mean, not only Chicago, across country,
Yes.
correct? Different agencies. You just opened one up in Indianapolis.
Yes, we
correct?
did. On January 2nd, we opened up the
Now,
Indianapolis
do all the John
location.
Casablancas the same program, same everything? I mean, say for example, someone starts in Chicago and has to move to Los Angeles. Could they pick up classes out there? Or?
Yeah, so all the John Casablancas are founded and based on the same principles, but we're each individually owned and operated. So we all do have our own program and our own curriculum. However, we're all based on the same foundation. So it is able for someone to transfer to each different location, but each location is going to cater towards their market. So here in the Chicago office, we train for the Chicago market, versus Indianapolis, they train for the Indianapolis market. So it's the same principles, but a little difference based on which market
Right,
you're in.
and I like the facility. I noticed the makeup room, I've noticed the lights, the studio effect, the casting room. Is this something also that you have to sort of prepare the student? Because let's face it, if somebody is first time, they have no idea even what a studio looks like.
Right.
And if you walk in and go, wow, I don't think you can get the job. That don't look too professional. So, I mean, is that something you guys prepare the student for here?
Absolutely, absolutely. All of our locations have makeup rooms, acting studios, runway rooms, photo shoot studio areas. So all of our centers have that base information, and then we just kind of use it based on each individual location's program.
Now, when they come in, is it based upon if they want to be an actor or they want to be runway, or is the course all put together? Basically, you teach everything as a whole?
We train everything as a whole because it crosses over so much.
Right. And versatility, I take it,
Yes.
is the key to the business.
Absolutely. In fact, in several with our clients, what we do is we place talent with larger companies. That's one of the things that we do. And after reviewing all of those contracts, the modeling contracts require acting classes for the emotional element. Acting contracts require modeling classes for the posture and for the posture and the focus. So those are really good areas for cross training, and that's why we train both. And then you're more versatile, and thus the agency can use you more because we have both acting and modeling clients. So we want to be able to market you to 100% of our clients and not just 50% of our clients.
And where have some of the famous John Casablanca graduates gone to these days?
Sure.
Modeling,
Yes.
heaven.
We have a talent named Jared who graduated about a year ago, and we signed him with Ford Models. Since with Ford Models, he's also signed to the Boys in New York and Sophie's Models in Milan, which is very exciting. And he's done an ad for Cartier, the watches, which is wonderful. We have talent placed with Big Mouth Talent. We have talent placed with Stewart Talent, MP Factor, Gray Talent. We just placed an 11-year-old with Gray Talent. So we have a lot of talent out there working. And then some own success that our office recently had was our own MTM talent was in a Mike's Hard Lemonade commercial. We were in Chicago Fashion Week, Midwest Fashion Week. We were at America's Beauty Show. So a lot of success going on here.
Very interesting, very interesting. And when a student graduates, what are they prepared for in the whole world? I mean, to go out there, do they realize the pitfalls, obviously, of the business?
We do talk about how rejection is just part of this
Yeah,
industry.
it
The
is.
word no is something you're going to have to get
Like
used to.
the movie The Producers. You, not,
Not
you.
you.
Exactly.
I love that show.
Exactly. And that is honestly how the business just happens. So you do prepare the students. like that,
Absolutely.
then.
When we get to graduation and do the contract signing, I really talk about how positivity and persistence is key, and support. It's good to find your support.
And what is
system.
graduation? Is it to walk down the runway, or what is graduation?
So graduation is actually another audition into the agency. First and foremost, everybody that's interested in working with us, they have to audition for our agency. If they're agency ready, awesome, we're good to go. If they're not agency ready, which is the majority of our talent,
Right.
then we have them go through the training. And then 30 weeks later or 10 weeks later, they have to prove that they're better off than they were when they first came here. So their graduation actually is an audition. So they're performing memorized monologues, memorized commercials, they're getting interviewed, they have to walk the runway, they have to pose, they have to bring their marketable material. We run it like a real audition, so that way they can really be prepared for the next step.
And sort of be prepared for the real world when they go out there.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to cut it. Christian Rizzaco is here, and Christian, you are a graduate
I am.
of John Casablanca.
Yeah.
Wow, a graduate. What does it feel like to be a graduate?
It's almost like graduating.
Like
regular
graduating
school.
college
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
Yeah. It was a lot less drama, even though that's what they teach here. So it was great. Really, like it really helped me bust out of my shell.
Sort of got you out. Now, like we've been talking earlier, a lot of people say they're shy. Was that you?
Yes. Yeah.
And it helped you come out just by learning how to project and learning the different techniques.
Yes, I have a problem where I trip over my words a lot, so Lindsey actually helped me a lot with that.
Now, you recently shot a television commercial. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's actually not a television commercial, but sorry, it's gonna be shown on the internet.
Oh, well, there's a lot of
Yes,
that today.
there's a
Social
lot of
media,
that.
I mean, this is it. Internet, I watch commercials are all over. Today, you have a wide variety.
Yeah, it was great. It was an experience. Got to meet a lot of people, and like I've heard, networking is key in this industry. So I got to meet a lot of new faces, a lot of new actors, directors.
And what was it like on the set? Is it sort of like what we hear, quiet on the set? Is that?
Yes, 100%. Sound check. Everything.
Oh yeah, everything.
Yeah,
And did you have a chance to see the commercial yet?
not yet. It's supposed to air next month.
Okay, you looking forward to it?
Yes.
Okay, so it's really an honor, graduating, doing a commercial. You were very lucky. Now, when you got picked for the commercial, was that through John Casablanca, or was it the procedure casting director? How did you get
It was through John Casablanca.
through John Casablanca?
Lindsey.
Now, what are some of your goals? Now that you're a graduate, are you sort of ready to face the industry and go out there?
Not quite that far, but yes.
Okay.
But yes.
All right.
I love modeling. I love acting. Because of my work schedule right now, I can't do a lot of acting. But I try to do photo shoots almost every
What
weekend.
would you say is the difference between modeling and acting? We hear that all the time. I mean, obviously modeling is really looking good, acting is performing well. What would the difference be between the two of them?
Well, with modeling, you don't have to memorize any lines.
Mhm.
You still have to project the emotion, yes.
Mhm.
But and besides, a photo shoot goes a lot quicker than
Mhm.
shooting an episode or a commercial. You can do a photo shoot in 3-4 hours
Right.
max. You do a
And commercials
and
more
commercial.
memorizing, takes
Right.
a little more strategy
Yeah.
to do a commercial. Now, what does it take to be a good model? I mean, is it, 6'4", blonde hair, blue eyes, is this it? Or can anybody be a model?
I believe anyone can be a model. It just depends what part of modeling you fall into. There's so many different categories. There's high fashion, there's commercial, there's lifestyle, athletic. So it just depends where you fit. But I do believe everyone could be a model.
And what about acting? Anybody can do that too?
That's a little more challenging. You have to be comfortable not only with being on camera, but with yourself. You have to be. From what I've heard with other models that I've talked to, other actors that I've talked to, the biggest hurdle is to get used to the sound of your own voice. So I think that's one of the biggest hurdles people have to get over.
What was your first class here?
My very first class was actually a makeup class.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and I forgot the instructor's name. It was John.
And makeup technique, obviously, you can't be in
Yes.
this business without makeup.
Oh,
So
of
even if
course.
guys are out there watching, remember, you have to get
Yes.
powdered up, or guess what? You cannot go on camera. And then after that, what other were some of the classes?
After that, I started with the old curriculum because they switched over in February. It was acting, modeling, posing, monologue, workshops, and we do also offer master classes where people that have been in the business, in the industry, come in and teach us how to get to where they are.
How to get to their
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
And is this something you want to be in the rest of your life? This is what you like to do, make a full-time career out of
I
this?
would love to make a full-time career out of this. Yes.
And what would your goal be? Modeling, commercials, TV shows, sitcoms, soap operas, what?
All the above. Really?
All of the
Yeah.
above. I love that answer. Yes, I guess if
Yes.
you have to be in this business, all of the above.
Yeah.
And like we talked about earlier, versatility is the key.
Yeah.
It's versatility, networking, all of that. If you cannot do that, you're not going to survive in this business.
Yeah. And like when I first started, I met the agency through an open call, which they have. And back then, Joshua Grooms was the agency director, and he's now at the Indianapolis. And one thing that he said really stuck out with me. We were in the casting room, and he told all of us, "It's my job here to talk you out of this business, because if I can't talk you out of it, you don't belong here." And that really just was a reality check of how bad do I really want this.
Adolfo Mata is a student currently attending John Casablanca right now, and tell us, what is it like?
It's an experience in itself. It was from the first moment I walked through that door to now. I can already see myself build up to not just more confidence, but more knowledge in this industry, like Lindsey was saying. It really opened doors as well as opened my eyes to things that I wasn't completely 100% aware of. Of course, you see the movies, you see the things, and you're like, okay, well, it seems a little bit easy, but then you get into it.
I can do that, right?
Yeah. And then you come and you figure out the real backstory to it, and you're just like, oh, okay, well, there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. Like, it's not just come in, you get in front of a camera, you do some lines, or you just improv, do whatever you feels right. No, there's a lot of like acting to it, as well as commitment, exposure, just keeping your focus. Because I've seen a lot of people to where, how you described earlier, some people just come in and they just freeze, or they feel like they're not capable of doing that cut or that job or that line or that acting, like, I forgot that word, that acting part in that film or that small commercial. And it seems so simple, but once you get in front of the camera and you see people looking at you, or just that you know that billions are going to be looking at you, it's, to some it's really...
And how did you get intrigued by this business? Now, I mean, let's face it, folks. Look at him. The guy's a hot-looking guy, you know.
Well,
I'm sure when
thank
you
you.
walk in, everyone's like, sign. Okay,
I
so
wish.
how, I mean, yeah, so was everyone telling you from small, wow, look at that guy, and it just, this is something I have to do? Or how did all this come about for you?
It actually started off with my father. As a small child, I was a little bit shy, insecure. I was a bit of a hefty child.
You hear that a lot about
So-
people in this business. They were all shy.
I was a bit shy, hefty, and I got bullied a lot. So I like to bring a message to what I do as well. But going back to the point, my father, I remember being with him. A lot of people loved him and liked the way that he was. He was a really outspoken, really cool guy that everyone just knew. Every time I was out and about with him, people, whenever they'd mention his name or they'd see me, they knew I was his son. They'd have a big smile on his face, like on their faces, and it made me happy. I was like, why are all these people so happy to see you? And he was just a community person, and he'd been through his hardships that I never knew when I was little, but that I now know of now, and he used that to build himself. And as I started getting older, I started coming out of my shell, and I remember the first thing I did was a scene from Ace Ventura when someone gets, Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey, gets a spear in his leg, and he tells his co-actor, he's like, throw me a spear! And they throw it in his other leg, and he's just like, ah! And I would do that for my family, and they would just have a blast and laugh. And I would do that first at family gatherings, at small parties. And before I knew it, people were just like, we'd love to see
So you sort of were the little class clown of the family or
Exactly,
whatever.
yes.
So a little natural, but a little training along the way, which really helps bring out your personality. Now, what are some goals you have in the business? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Well, of course, one of the goals I had growing up that changed a lot was just, of course, get famous, get well known, get the money, all that stuff. But growing up through the things I've been through, the things I've discovered, I want to leave a message and I want to leave a mark. That's my main goal, to live happy and to show others that it's true to be happy. If you're passionate about something, if you keep to it, if you train, if you're determined, you can accomplish anything. To me, I was just a small town kid from Texas, and then I came over here and I'm making things happen, and it can happen to just anyone. That's something I want to leave.
Yeah, so will and determination is something which is very important in this line of work.
Yes. For majority that I've met, yes. But of course there are some of those who are just like, oh, I love the spotlight. I love, of course, eyes on me. I like the glamour, the back.
Now, are movies in your future? I mean, let's face it, folks, he's got the look of a movie star. I mean, already, you're in the making. I mean, would that be a goal, the big screen one of these days?
Yes, of course. I'd love to meet some of my favorite comedians.
Favorite
actors.
actress you'd want to work with?
Favorite actress? I'd have to say Salma Hayek. Beautiful.
He doesn't
woman.
go that high, right?
She's-
You don't want much, huh?
Who wouldn't want to meet Salma Hayek? But yes, that's one of the actresses I'd love to meet and work with.
Okay, so Lindsey, after talking with some of the students and the graduates, we see what the business is all about. So tell us a little bit, someone comes in cold. What are the requirements when they come to see you?
Nothing.
Nothing. I love it already.
They don't need anything because we are an entry intermediate level company. So most talent that come to us this is their very first audition. This is their very first time stepping into the industry, getting their feet wet, and that's exactly where we want them, because then we can help mold them and train them for this industry with professionals who've been working in this industry forever. I myself have been working in this industry for almost 20 years, almost my entire life. On our instructing staff, we have somebody who's been Emmy nominated. We have somebody who's been a model in Ukraine and crowned Miss Ukraine. We have somebody who's been a model in Chicago for going on 6 years now. So we've got a lot of great experience on our board, so that way we can help get you where you want to go. Now, coming in with nothing, it doesn't mean that you're leaving with nothing. You are going to leave with something. So we do, once you complete the program, get you a professional headshot. We have an international photographer on board who's our house photographer, getting you marketable material so I can start marketing you. So as you just met Christian, we've got his comp card, which is like a model's business card, various different comp cards and headshots based on the type of style. We represent children, we represent fashion models, we represent all ethnicities and genders, and we represent all experience levels as well. So
And all ages.
and all ages, ages 5 to 85, all backgrounds, all types. And so these are comp cards and headshots, and then we also help build them a portfolio book. And the portfolio book is something that you can take to the client and show them, hey, this is a little bit about my work, this is what I can do. And then all the way in the back, you have a nice little pocket to store your resumes and your comp cards as well. So we get all of our talent hooked up with all the materials that they need
So
they can succeed.
would we be safe in saying these are what's called the tools of the trade?
Yeah, that would be a great way to say that.
Mm-hmm, the tools of the trade.
Yeah, let's go for it.
And as you can see, all different looks, personalities. So I guess the bottom line to all of this is, Lindsey, if somebody has the will and determination, they can do it
They can do it.
and make your dreams come true. So Lindsey, if someone wants to get in touch with your company, how do they reach out?
Sure, there's lots of different ways to get a hold of us. First and foremost, social media, as it is growing, so are we. So on Facebook, we are Model and Talent Management Chicago, and also on Facebook at Chicago MTM. Our phone number is 630-396-2340, and there are 3 different email addresses. If you want to contact me, I am the agency director and head instructor. My email is Lindsey, Lindsey, at jc-mtm.com. If you'd like to reach out to our operations manager and conventions manager, her name is Alex Clare. Her email is alex, A-L-E-X, at jc-mtm.com. Or if you'd like to reach out to our new faces director and assistant director who basically runs the auditions here, that would be Mr. Anthony Carrillo, and his email is Anthony, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y, at jc-mtm.com.